Hey Shark fans, it's Melinda Marsalis. Welcome to Heard It on the Shark. I'll be your show host, and Mississippi Hills National Heritage Area is your show sponsor. Heard It on the Shark is a weekly interview show that airs every Tuesday at 11 a.m. on the Shark 102.3 FM radio station based in Ripley, Mississippi. Then it's released as a podcast on all the major podcast platforms. You'll hear interviews with the movers and shakers in North Mississippi who are making things happen. I'll talk to entrepreneurs, leaders of business, medicine, education, and the people behind all the amazing things happening in North Mississippi. When people ask you, how did you know about that? You'll say, I heard it on the Shark. Heard It on the Shark is brought to you by the Mississippi Hills National Heritage Area. We want you to get out and discover the historic, cultural, natural, scenic, and recreational treasures of the Mississippi Hills that are right in your backyard. And of course, we want you to take the Shark 102.3 FM along for the ride. Musical credit belongs to Hill Country Blues guitar legend Gary Burnside and the late great Buddy Grisham, playing Long Way Home from their album Acoustic Brothers, which was recorded at Sun Bear Studio in Ripley, Mississippi.
This program was recorded at Sun Bear Studio in Ripley, Mississippi.
Hey, Shark fans, it's Melinda with another episode of Heard It on the Shark. And today, on a phone call, I have again with us Miss Ashley England, who is with TVA Energy Right. I always hesitate on that, TVA Energy Right. Last time we talked to Ashley, it was so helpful. It was back in the winter time, and she gave us a whole lot of tips on how to keep our energy bills lower in the wintertime. So now you're going to come and tell us about this hot summer. So thanks for coming back.
Yeah, so glad to be here, and the air conditioners are blowing, so it's time.
Absolutely. Okay, let's just get right after it. How can you save money on your energy bill in the hot summer?
You know, I've got a few favorite techniques that I always want to recommend to folks. The first is to remember that timing can make a really big difference, especially when it comes to running appliances. So things like your dishwasher, your laundry machine, highly recommend that you run those later in the evening when it's cooler, not during the peak heat hours of the day. So, you know, everybody kind of starting around 3, 4 p.m., the air conditioner's working in overdrive because the hot sun's been, you know, blasting on your house all day. You get home, everybody starts to use, you know, the TV, they're cooking, everything like that. If you can wait and run your dishwashers and laundry machines after that in the evening, and if you have a newer appliance, they even have those like great set it and forget it features, and that's what I do. I just set mine to run overnight. That's going to help you save money because it's going to mean your HVAC system isn't working as hard because those appliances put out a lot of heat. Another is to make some really smart cooling choices. So first, make sure your filters are clean for maximum efficiency. You want to replace those every month or so. And then to use ceiling fans when you're in the room to help circulate that air. And honestly, you can do that instead of lowering your thermostat. And each degree higher on your thermostat during the summer can save you about 3% on your power bill. And that fan is going to make the room feel about 4 degrees cooler when you have that on. But make sure it's set to run counterclockwise in the summer. That's going to push the air down. And then, you know, my final tip that I really love to give people is to use those curtains and blinds. You want to close them during the day on the southwest and east facing windows. That's going to block the sun's heat. And then just try to minimize opening your door. And if you have kids like me, it might be hard to do, but minimize opening your exterior doors. It's going to help keep the cool air inside.
I love all your free tips. They're so handy. And I had already forgotten to switch my fan. What is it supposed to be? Counterclockwise?
Counterclockwise in the summer. It's going to push the cool air down to where you can feel it.
Okay, I'm checking them tonight when I get home. All right, now you said HVAC. You know, we have not very many HVAC people here in town, and you can guarantee when your air goes out, they're already booked up because everybody's air conditioner goes out at the same time. So how can we avoid that? Is there a checkup you can do before it gets really hot?
Yes, that's right. So some some people call it a checkup, some people call it a snap, but honestly, it's one of my number one tips for people. Get your HVAC system tuned up before it is peak heat. The first thing that's going to do is going to ensure that it's operating at peak efficiency and that everything in your system is performing optimally, which is going to lower your energy bills and keep you comfortable, right? But another important thing is it's preventative maintenance. Your tune-up is going to allow the HVAC technician to identify and address issues before they escalate into costly repairs, or worse yet, you're going to be stuck with days with no air conditioning because it takes so long to get them scheduled. So get that preventative maintenance in, and, again, they're going to replace your air filters. It's going to remove dust and pollen and contaminants and improve your indoor air quality. So highly recommend that. And right now are partnering with your local power company to offer a $50 rebate for that HVAC checkup if you use a member of our quality contractor network in your area.
Oh, okay. So I was going to say people don't do preventative things, myself included, often because you got to pay a little money and your common sense doesn't kick in. And so getting a $50 rebate would be helpful on that. So how do I find out who's the contractor that's in your system?
Very easy. You just want to go to our website, and that's energyright.com. You're going to go, find a contractor, and you can just filter by your zip code and choose HVAC as the service. And you're going to see a list of service providers that work in your area. And when you contact those contractors, you just want to tell them, hey, I want to participate in that TVA Energy Right program that's offered by my local power company, and I want to get that tune-up rebate. And so your contractor submits all the paperwork for you. You don't have to do anything except for you get an email from us that'll say, hey, did you get your HVAC tune-up? And you'll say, I did. And when you click confirm, that's going to start the process to get that check mailed to you in the mail. So very easy.
Okay. And again, I'll say I did this with my windows, and it was super easy. I mean, you guys just handled the whole thing, and I got a little money back for that, and it was easy on my part. So you guys should do that, everybody listening. Okay. Now, you said that it's got to be a network member. Why is that? Why can't we just go to whoever we want to?
Well, each contractor in our network is licensed and insured, and they complete training on our quality guidelines. And we have them do that because we want to make sure you're getting a good job, high quality. We want to make sure that your system is getting, checked for efficiency. And we just want people to hire with confidence. It's hard to find contractors. We know that. So we want to make sure you can find good folks that are rated. That's the other thing you can see on our website on energyright.com. You can see how all those contractors have been rated by other users. You can see how many jobs they've submitted through our system. So it just gives you an idea of the quality.
Yep. Okay, I love that. And now, what if you just know, or what if it turns out after your tune-up, or what if you just know it is time for a new HVAC system? Are there rebates for that?
Yes, we have up to $3,000 available in rebates for things like HVAC system replacement. So whether you're looking at a heat pump or a mini split or a geothermal system, if you want to go real efficient, even just central air conditioning, we've got rebates available for all those. Again, all you got to do is use a member of that contractor network to get those upgrades installed. You'll get a check in the mail. The other cool thing is we have rebates for a few other efficiency upgrades that can really make a difference in your home. So things like air sealing and attic insulation with $500 for attic insulation. That is so effective. That really makes a difference in the comfort of your home and its efficiency, as well as for duct sealing. So, yeah, energyright.com, you can find a lot of resources and a lot of money waiting out there to be grabbed.
Yeah, energyright.com. That simple.
That's right.
Okay. Now, is TVA, are y'all getting bigger? Is this a growing effort? It seems like it's more popular now.
Yeah, I mean, our region is just growing really, really fast. We provide electricity to over 10 million consumers across 7 states. But this region in general is outpacing the national average. And, we also have lower unemployment rates than the national average. And we just have great places to live. So it's bringing a lot of folks, a lot of industry coming here, a lot of people moving here. And so we've been working really hard. We've been investing nearly $16 billion to create and maintain one of the nation's most advanced, reliable, and efficient power grids. So part of that is building, new megawatts to the system and constructing, building new units. But the other part of that is things like this. We're investing over $1.5 billion to help homes and businesses become more energy efficient. And I have to say it, if you don't mind me taking one more minute, if there are any business owners listening, we've got upgrade assistance available up to $3 million per year in incentives for businesses. So per year per business, which is, again, a lot of resources on the table for businesses looking to make their facilities more efficient. So, again, energyright.com if you're interested in learning more.
Ashley, thank you so much. I hope you'll keep coming back every 6 months or so to keep us in front of mind of the things that we can do and that TVA Energy Right's doing for us for free.
Well, thanks for having me, and at least I could just come back and remind everybody about which way to send your fan each season.
You're going to have to keep reminding me every 6 months. You'll have to do that. Okay, Ashley, thank you very much, and I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks so much for having me.
All right, Shark fans, that's it for this edition of Heard It on the Shark. You guys get out there and go to energyright.com and go get you some rebates, and tune in every Tuesday at 11 a.m. to find out what's going on with other local community leaders. If you have a question, comment, or suggestion for an interview, or if you'd like access to this interview, you can go to our website, shark1023.com, and click on the podcast tab. Keep it tuned to the Shark 1023 and have a great summer.
The Mississippi Hills National Heritage Area was established by the United States Congress in 2009 and represents a distinctive cultural landscape shaped by the dynamic intersection of Appalachian and Delta cultures. This intersection has produced a powerful concentration of nationally significant cultural icons, including King of Rock and Roll Elvis Presley, First Lady of Country Music Tammy Wynette, blues legend Howlin' Wolf, civil rights icons Ida B. Wells Barnett and James Meredith, America's favorite playwright Tennessee Williams, and Nobel laureate William Faulkner. The stories of the Mississippi Hills are many and powerful, from music and literature to Native American and African American heritage to the Civil War. The Mississippi Hills National Heritage Area supports the local institutions that preserve and share Northeast Mississippi's rich heritage. Begin your discovery of the historic, cultural, natural, scenic, and recreational treasures of our region by visiting the Mississippi Hills National Heritage Area online at mississipphills.org.
This show is made possible by JC Media, LLC in Ripley, Mississippi. JC Media owns the Shark 102.3 Classic Rock FM radio station where the show is hosted, and Sun Bear Recording Studio where the interviews are recorded. We need your feedback and support. If you listen to the podcast on a player like iTunes, Google Podcasts, or Amazon Music, please subscribe to the show and leave us a review. We also have an email in which you can share your feedback. That email is theshark1023@gmail.com. Subscribe to our podcast on your favorite app or stream episodes online at shark1023.com/podcasts. Today's episode was produced by Melinda Marsalis. It was edited by Rick Williams and engineered by Chris Marsalis. The podcast technician is Joyce Grady.